Hello, future Hall of Famer, and welcome to the Simulation Hockey League. This is going to be your introduction to the website. We're going to cover how you create your player, how you improve your player, and then how you'll update your player and earn money that you need. If this is not your first sim league, or if you're just coming back to this for a refresher, check out the description. We will have sort of all of the chapters of this video labeled for you, and you'll be able to jump around and navigate the video as needed. But if you're new, again, welcome. We're going to go through everything you need to know to get started here, and let's just jump right into it. So if you haven't already made an account, you should definitely do that. Very simple process. I'm not going to walk you through that. Only you know your email address and your own name, so I can't help you there. But once you've got an account, you're going to have to log in. Okay, and once you've logged in, then you'll see right off the bat here your first move. Obviously, you're going to want to create a player. So right up here at the top, you can see create a player. That's where you're going to start off. First and foremost, everything about your player sort of physically is going to go up here. Most of this stuff won't have a huge effect on how your player actually plays in the simulation, but this is where your personality kind of lies. So let's just fill that out quickly. We're going to play with Shoot-C Scores, recruited by, so if you have a friend that sort of asked you to join the site, this is where they would go. Player render is what your player looks like. So again, that doesn't really have a huge effect on the game. It's for you or for other people when they create artwork of your player. You'd want to have a player chosen. Height, not a huge impact on what's going on, but let's be tall and lean. Birthplace, Montreal, just to make Boston Bruins fans upset. So now, here is the important part. So you're going to have 155 TPE, or total points earned, to start out with. You can see that down here. So that's sort of your ability to upgrade your character. You have 155 points to spend. That will increase over time, so don't worry too much about nailing all of this exactly right. You will get plenty more points to spend and sort of hone your player's abilities, and your GMs and your rookie mentors will be more than happy to help you sort of find the places to spend your points that are right for you. But to start off with, you should select a role. So this is sort of how your player will actually play, right? Say you love somebody like a Kendall Coyne, somebody that's like a really, really fast scoring touch winger. You could play that as a speedy forward. You could play that as a counter-attacking forward, sort of whatever is important to you. If you want to be like a really heavy forechecker, again, you've got an aggressive forechecker, or a garbage collector, somebody that sort of does really well screening and banging in shots, so that like physical forward, right? So let's say that our Bobby Orr center is going to be a counter-attacking forward. Right away, you can see the abilities that'll be most important to that role will be highlighted in red for you. So it gives you a decent place to start off with, right? You're not flying completely blind here. So I'll just change it just for posterity's sake. If I go to shadow, you can see you've got new abilities that are important, such as positioning, stick checking, balance. Those are things that weren't necessarily there when you were a counter-attacking forward. So offensive read over checking, and so on. So now that we've chosen counter-attacking forward, you can see the scale is here. It does the calculations for you on this page, so I wouldn't worry about it too intensively, but it shows you how, as you improve your ability, it gets harder and harder to get up that high. So at the start, it's typically recommended you go a little more well-rounded and don't, jump up to your 13 to 15 range super early on if you don't need to. So you can just start applying your points here. So we've gone with a counter-attacking forward, so we know the reds are important. So let's bring these up to, say, 10 or 11 each as just sort of a nice starting point, and then we'll see where we're at points-wise to then begin spending elsewhere. So you can see that you can kind of get a good idea of how this player is going to play just by looking at these highlighted abilities, right? So we still have 43 points available, and that's putting all of our key stats up to 11. So then you get a little more customization still here, even right off the start. So you can start to say like, well, I want my player to play a little bit longer. I'm going to bump up stamina to 12 so they don't get tired as quickly. I don't want them to fall over very much, so I'll up their balance to, say, a 9. And I want their positioning to be strong, give them a little bit of help there. Shooting accuracy, so that, and puck handling, those would both be fun ones to have up. So let's try to bump those both to a 9, let's say. We still have 13 available. I like getting open for a counter-attacking forward. Perhaps a bit of strength. Yeah, let's take it to strength. So we have no more points available. And so once you've applied all of these values, you're set to go. You've got your submit button right here at the bottom, and there you go. And that'll create your player. So it takes you straight to your player creation page here. It shows you all of your attributes. It shows you how many points you have available, if any. And that's about the end of it. So you're waiting for someone from the player team to confirm your player. But once you've done that, you'll be all set to go. We got all these lovely messages from people in the community. And then we get a little bit of information here from the player confirmation folks. They'll tell you sort of what draft you're eligible for, different things you can get involved with. But the important bit here is that your character is created. You are in the league now. From there, the first thing we can look at, if you just check your inbox, you'll eventually get a personal message here from somebody on the mentor committee. So these are really the people that you want to reach out to when you have questions. All of these people will be amazing helpers for you, but the other thing that you can do once you actually are either drafted or signed to a team, your GM or your assistant GMs will also be super willing to help you out. You'll also be asked if you want to join the Discord server. This is not mandatory, but I would say it's highly recommended. Your Discord is where you'll find, once you're on a team, your team locker rooms will be there. It'll be the easiest way to reach your general managers as well as most of these rookie mentors. So this link here is specifically for your draft classes Discord, which means that when you join it, you'll be put into a server with the rookie mentors as well as every single person that is part of your upcoming draft class. So you'll get to know everybody that you'll be playing with for the foreseeable future. But now that you've got your player created, I mean, the important thing, what you're here for is to sort of develop your player, make them a superstar, start lighting up the league, right? So how do we do that? So we do that through updates, which are essentially how you tell the update team how many points you've earned and where you want to spend those points. So what can you do to earn points? So there's a few very simple things that you can do every week. We're going to touch on those. And then we're going to explore the PT section down here in the SMJHL player progression. That's where you're going to start out. But the first thing we can do that's very, very simple is the activity check. So every week there's a new activity check. All you have to do is post your name and the team that you play for, and you'll get 2 TPE. So we don't have a team yet. We're just a prospect for the season 57. So all we have to write is our name and our prospect year, and we're just going to post it. And that's that. So again, just to reiterate, we are doing this so that we have some things to put into our update. So this is 2 points right here. The next thing we're going to do is our weekly training. So if we go back here, again, you want to get familiar with where the SMJHL player progression forum is. We're going to dig into this a little bit deeper later, but right now we're just going to do these simple starter tasks. It can be a little overwhelming when you see all of this stuff here, and we'll get there. Right now, we're going to work with our first PT, which is right here. So there's a little bit of a description here about how to buy your training, which is what you can do every week. So it costs $500,000 to do your training every week. You can earn money in a lot of ways. Again, we'll touch on that later, but for right now, you actually get your first training for free. So if you go here to your bank account, you can go to your bank account. I've already claimed my money, but all you have to do once you've claimed your free money is go here and hit purchase training. That's it. Are you sure you want to make your transaction? I am. And there we go. So this is your transaction. You've got 3 points here. So now we've got a total of 5 points. Cut back here to your first PT. Again, it's going to explain what you can do here. So it's going to show you how to make an update thread. So let's just click right into there. And let's actually, before we close these, so when you do an update, you need the links to the places that you have earned points. So this is important here. You're going to need the link to this post, and you're going to need the link to this transaction. So here's just sort of how an update looks. Again, looks very overwhelming, looks very confusing. But right here, you'll find the link to the place that you create your update thread. So let's open that link as well here. So we're right here, unassigned player updates. We are unassigned as we don't have a team yet. We're going to hit new topic and we're going to type shoot C scores update thread. So we'll write season 57 center, which we are. So we've got our update thread here. So now how do we fill this? They give us an incredible tool here, Update Assistant. So let's open that in a new tab as well. Here we've got an Update Assistant. So before our update, we were at 155. That's easy enough to fill out. That's the amount that you start with. Here you've got your task name, then your link to your task, and then how much that task earned you. Again, very simple, right? So we did two things coming into this. We did our training, +3. So we'll call this weekly training. And then we need the link to the task. So with your training, all you have to link to is the bank transaction that shows that you purchased the training. Again, you can only do this once a week, and that earns you 3 points. So we'll add that. And now we've got a second row here. So we did our activity check. Again, let's copy that link. And we go activity check number 329. And here's the link. We link directly to our post in that thread, and we earned 2 points for that. All right, so now we've got both of those, and we earned 5 total points. And now all we have to do is hit generate, and it breaks this all down for us. Super, super simple. And it gives us a place here where we can adjust our attributes. So let's copy this update. And now we're back here at our update thread, and all we have to do is paste it in here. And there, it's perfect. So 3 points, weekly training, it's all linked properly. We earned 5 points, so one thing we can do is we can go back to, I'm just gonna go to the create a player page really quickly because the scale is right there. You can see you have your scale of points to spend here, right? So we can go from 9 to 11 for 5 points. And so let's say we just earned 5 points. Let's go back to our player page. And our shooting accuracy is at 9. So you know what? Let's bring that up. And that you would do that by saying +5 to your shooting accuracy. And then that starting amount. So you're saying I'm applying 5 points to shooting accuracy. I was starting at 9. And now I'm going to go to 10 because it costs 5 to do that, as we see here back on the update scale, right? 5 points. So those are assigned, shooting accuracy 9 to 10, and we're a better shooter now, just by doing our weekly training and our activity check. So let's post this thread, and that's perfect. So again, unassigned player updates, you see us right there, and when you go in, it's a perfectly formatted update that every updater will be thrilled to see. So now that we've done this, we actually have another point that we can claim. If you remember, again, back in the SMJHL player progression forum down here, that first PT that we clicked on, this guide that we opened up, you actually earn 1 point just by doing this. So all you have to do now is go down here, let's post a new reply, and then all we have to do is say, I made my update page, and we're going to link it. So you've got your little link button here. We're going to insert a link to our update page, and that's that. Post the reply. There you go, it links properly. So we're back in our update thread, and now we're going to add points to it. So you'll often do this throughout the week as new claims come up and as new activities become available. But now that we've got it here, I can just hit edit. I can do a full edit to add something. If you have a bunch of things, you can go into the update assistant and make it a lot easier on yourself, but here we're just adding one little thing. So we're going to say +1 PPE. We're going to use the exact same formatting, your first PT. And then here we're going to link, again, we're adding a link to, I'll show you, directly to the post that we made in that thread, on the first PT thread. So I made my update page, which links to my update. It's a big tree of links all the way down, and we've added that. So again, we'll just adjust this. 155 + 6 = 161. and we don't have to apply any points. We only have one here, so you can actually, if you have points you don't want to spend, if you're saving up to increase something, you would just write something along the lines of unspent TPE 1, right? So we'll just write there that we have 1 TPE saved up. And then we hit update post, and there you go. It's important to make sure that you're always updating the same post until an updater actually has posted into your thread that you've been updated. So for example, with this one, I'll continue to edit this until somebody comes in and says, hey, you've been updated. And at that point, I'll make a new post with my new tasks claimed. That is a new post in this thread, not a new thread. So that's what you do every week. That's how you make your player better. You do simple things like this, your weekly training, your activity check, and the weekly tasks that are posted. So now let me dig into that a little bit deeper for you. Making a habit here of finding our SMJHL player progression forum. That is the most important forum for you as a new player. And so here's where I'm going to break this down a little further for you. Every week, the PT team will post some tasks that you can do. In addition to the training and the activity check, you have to think about it in 3 steps. So the first step is that you complete the task. The second step is that the claim is posted, and the final step is putting it into your update. So, for example, let's just click on Most Valuable Player here. So your tasks, these are often just fun graphic tasks or writing prompts. So the Adine Fala Trophy for MVP as decided by the awards committee, who will win it this season. So write 150 words about who you think are in the running, or create a graphic comparing the top 3 contenders. So they'll give you sort of the requirements and how much you earn. So 4 TPE for doing this. And then you see down below, people have written up all of these answers, and that's all you need to do. So if you've written your answer, then you just wait until the claim is put up, which is up here. So you can see season 55 claims thread. So you can think of this almost like grading. Your responses aren't actually graded per se, they're just checked to see that you made the requirements, and if you did, you'll get points. So when you want to add something to your update, say you had filled out that one we were just looking at about the trophy, you would have to check this thread and make sure that somebody had posted that you can make your claim. So you can see here the following may claim 4 TPE for completing part 1. So what we were looking at was part 4, but this would be the exact same as what you would see. And you would look in here for your name, and assuming that you completed the requirements, then your name would appear here. And then similar to that, all you would do is make sure that you get the post ID directly, you would copy it, and then you would put it in your update. Again, I'm not going to actually link this to my update because I didn't do it, but I can just show you what that would look like really quickly. So if your name was in that thread, you would just say something like plus 4 TPE PT number 4, and then you would link directly to the post in the claims thread, not to your post where you completed the task, because again, the team doesn't know that you actually completed the task to standard until it's actually been quote unquote graded and put in the claims thread. So you have to link directly to the claims thread. Again, I'm not actually going to add this one because we didn't do it, but that's what you'll do moving forward with any tasks that you do inside of that forum. There's always a range of tasks here. 3-on-3 and prime time are every week. Check prime time, you're choosing a winner. You fill out the Google form, you say who you think is going to win this game, and then you post your verification word down below. The instructions are all laid out for you. It's quite simple. It's sort of like updating. Once you've done a couple of progression tasks, added them to your updates, and you've seen the flow from you completing the task to the claim thread going up to then adding it to your updates, it becomes quite simple. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. You might post something in the wrong place. You might accidentally claim something you didn't mean to claim. The rookie mentors are there to help you if you're not sure about something. Don't be afraid to reach out, and don't be too worried about doing something wrong. We've all done it. I've done it myself. There's nothing to be worried about there. Lastly, something you can touch on quickly that is also a free points is right in here. So always look for the Welcome to the League survey. If you're a totally new player and you're going to get 1 free point just for filling out a survey, it's just going to ask you questions about how your onboarding process is, if you're finding it easy to understand, what could help you understand it better. That's an easy free point, so I highly recommend that you do that. All you have to do to claim it is post in this thread after you've filled it out, and then you can link that in your update thread. And so this brings us to the last part of our tutorial, which is media, graphics, and money. So you might remember here, we'll just jump back into banking for a second. You'll remember that we looked here, we had the bit about how it costs $500,000 a week for training, and I just kind of glossed over that because you got free money. But now let's circle back here and talk about, well, how do you get this money if you have to train every week? There's two key ways of doing this. So the first thing you'll want to find under League Media here is SMJHL Media and Graphics. So I'm going to open up both of these and we'll just go through them both quickly here. So SMJHL Media is a forum where you can post written topics and earn money for them. That's really all that there is to it. Let me just open up here one as an example. So this is by the Simulation Junior Hockey Network. I mean, they do incredible work, but this will give you a really good example of what it is, right? So they've broken down the standings and done power rankings. There's a brief explanation of every team and why they are where they are. They've done these amazing graphics. There's some graphs, and you earn money sort of per word that you write. So you're paid $1,000 per word. So 1,000 words gets you about $1 million. Obviously, they would make a little bit more for this because you get bonuses for all your nice graphics and everything, but that's not to say it has to be this complex, right? These people obviously put a ton of work into it. They make a lot of money for doing so, but things can be much, much simpler. Here you see somebody's just sort of written down, again, really great work, but somebody's just sort of written down how every player in the last draft class is doing. That's fantastic. They're going to make a good chunk of money for this, and they can train for a long time. So that's sort of the easiest way of doing this. When you post, your article will be graded. They'll just check to make sure you didn't plagiarize it, you didn't just copy and paste the same word over and over again, and then you'll automatically be paid out, and you will see that transaction reflected in your bank account here. So it'll show up in requests pending approval. You'll see, say, $1 million down here, and then eventually a banker will approve it and it'll be added to your total. The other thing I should mention quickly is that any media piece you write as your first media is worth double the money. So if you write 1,000 words for $1 million, if it's your first article, as you can see, somebody's done so here, you get double the payout. So a 1,000 word article will get you $2 million on your first media. That's a bit of incentive to try and, write something pretty in-depth your first media and get yourself set up for a long time. There will be regular bonuses like this that are announced on the site as well. Say around draft time, there's almost always 2 times media. Around the World Juniors time, there's almost always 2 times media. So keep your eyes open for that. You can maximize your earnings when you write articles. The graphics department works pretty much the exact same way. You can create graphics. Video goes in video. If you're doing graphics, they go in weekly submissions. And there's a team of graders here that will actually give you feedback if you join the graphics Discord, which you can see down here. And so when you're in the weekly section, you can see all of these people have, dated their submissions. There is a limit to how many you can submit in each week. That is all laid out for you back here in the weekly submissions. You can see grading rubric, pay scale, how to submit. So if you're interested in doing this, I would say check this out in more depth, but it gives you a breakdown of how much you get paid out, basically how well your graphic is judged to be. So, if you get a 3 out of 5, you get $750,000 per graphic. And again, they have different pay scales for different types of graphics that you submit, as well as, a limit for every different type of style that you might submit. So that's a really fantastic way to make money as well. It also applies by the same rules where if it's a double media week, you'll make twice as much. So a 3 out of 5, $750,000. So in a double media week, a 3 out of 5 makes $1.5 million. Right there, that's a fantastic way to earn some money and to get ahead of the game a bit in terms of being able to afford your training. training. Just a couple other quick things on the point of money. When you're signed to a team, whether that's in the SMJHL or in the SHL, you'll negotiate a contract with your GM, and that will give you a source of income every season. Another fast and simple way to make some money is to take part in SHL Fantasy. So I'm sure a lot of you are probably familiar with your classic sports snake drafts. You can find it down here under Player Development, the SHL Fantasy Leagues. So if you sign up to join that, even if you come dead last in it every season like I do, you get $1 million just for playing. If you come in first, I think you get a handful of TPE as well, so that's something you should definitely check out if you're interested. And that's that. I hope that's helpful for you. Again, in the description we'll have helpful links for you and some timestamps so that you can get around this video if you need to be refreshed on something. I'll reiterate again, definitely reach out to your rookie mentors, and once you're on a team, don't be afraid to talk to your GM, because those are the best resources for you. Everybody on the site wants to help you succeed. They want to help you create the player that you want to play. So join the Discord, talk to your mentors, don't be afraid to talk to your GM about how to get the player that you want, and just have a good time overall. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic career. Best of luck.